Hi, I'm Astred Griffin. I am here at Indian Hills Community College. I am in their Culinary Arts program, and I am a second-year student. Today I'm going to be demonstrating caramelized mushroom tarts. What you'll need for the tarts are mushrooms, 2 to 3 medium-sized shallots, dusting flour, a clove of garlic and 2 sprigs of rosemary, puff pastry dough, olive oil and water, 4 tablespoons of sugar, and just a splash of red wine vinegar. To start off, you're going to need to de-stem all of your mushrooms. To de-stem them, just apply a little bit of pressure to the stem inwards, then twist side to side, and pulling it should come out very clean. Now you're going to need to cut all of your mushrooms into thin slices. Now mushrooms can be substituted in any dish for meat-like texture. There are all different kinds of mushrooms. You can actually use any kind you want for this depending on what kind of flavor or texture you'd like. Next, you'll want to wrap the shallots in aluminum foil and roast them in the oven at 350 degrees. Make sure to wrap them tight so that the steam helps to cook them and they cook in their own juices. Now place them in the oven and let them cook for about 10 minutes while you're doing the rest of your prep. For the third shallot, I've already minced them. Next, you'll want to de-stem the rosemary. Now after you get all the rosemary off the sprig, you'll want to cut it up very fine. You just want the flavor to be extracted, but you don't want the actual texture of the rosemary itself. Now you can just add it right into the shallots. Next, you'll want to mince the garlic. Make sure to take off the end, flatten it, and start dicing. Add the garlics to your rosemary and shallot mixture. And now, we are ready to saute the mushrooms. Add a little bit of oil just to cover the bottom of the pan. Add just enough mushrooms to cover the bottom of the pan. You want them all to get their space to cook in there. And allow them to brown on each side. Add in your shallot, rosemary, and garlic mixture. The great thing about cooking garlic is it brings out a sweet quality in the garlic. So no longer does it have just the pungent flavor, but it adds sweetness to anything you cook it in. Now that that's complete, you add this to the remainder of the mushrooms. Now we will make the caramel sauce that goes in the bottom of the custard cups. What you'll need are 4 tablespoons of sugar. Just add that right into the pan. If you make your caramel sauce in the same pan that you sauteed your mushroom in, it helps to deglaze the pan and gets all the flavor out of the bottom of the pan. Now just let it rest. And as the bubbles increase in size, you know your caramel sauce is getting ready. Just let it cook. See how the bubbles are getting bigger? That's how you know the caramel sauce is done. Bring your pan over to your custard dishes and dump equal amounts of the caramel sauce right into the bottom. Next, we need to cut out the puff pastry dough. And I have already rolled it out into a thin sheet. This is about the thickness you'll want to put on the bottom of your tart. Dust your surface with flour and then spread it around. And find a circular cutter that's about the same size as the opening of your custard dish. Then take the cutter, press firmly, twisting it, and continually cut circles. We'll need about 5. Now we have our 5. We can just place them off to the side until we're ready for use. Our shallots are done. You can tell when they get soft to the touch that they are finished. Unwrap the shallots and cut them into thin rings. The outside layer is going to be very tough, so you'll just want to remove the outside, and that reveals the tender inside. Now cut that into thin slices. Once you have those ready, you'll want to layer a thin layer in each of the custard cups. You don't need a lot in each of the cups, just enough to bring out the flavor and texture that you want. And now that we have the shallots in the dish, we add the mushrooms on top of it. Make sure as you're putting it in to put pressure on it so it packs down. That way when it comes out in one even piece. So next, I will put the puff pastry on top of the custard dishes. Tuck the edges of the puff pastry against the bowl, and using all 4 fingers, apply gentle pressure into the dish. Now that we have the puff pastry in the top of the custard dishes, we're going to just put them in the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes, or until the puff pastry starts to rise a fair amount. Now that the mushroom tarts are almost done and I have my workstation clean, I kind of was thinking about some ways to garnish the finished product. There are plenty of ways to do it. I decided just to go with a simple sprig of rosemary and stick that right on top after it comes out. Just like that. Now we'll get the mushroom tarts out. Oh, they look lovely. Move it over to your plate and add your sprig of rosemary. And there you have it, your caramelized mushroom tart.